Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming along to this community consultation period. Our objective today is to inform you of the operational plan and any other related plans that we have. The operational plan is basically our budget. It includes how we're going to raise our revenue, how we're going to spend the revenue on services and projects, and there are related documents which the General Manager and others may mention, but they all support that operational plan. As a headline, the operational plan for next financial year will have a deficit of about $55,000, and that's on a turnover of about $33.5 million. The rate peg approved by IPART for next financial year is 3.7%, and we have included that in as the increase in rates overall within our budget. The operational plan will cover all of our income, all of our projects, where we spend it, how we spend it, and some detail will be in the presentations by individual people. We've managed to retain a pretty decent level of budget balance. $55,000 in 33 million is less than 0.02%, and that is probably will change with each quarterly business budget review statement as things change within our work programs, and also things like grants and doing jobs for other LGAs, which is something that quite commonly happens. The whole process is a long and hard one, particularly for the financial staff, the directors, the general manager, and the executive assistant. And they've done a superb job, and I congratulate them and thank them for that. Before we go any further, I'd just like to acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the traditional lands of the Wiradjuri, Gundungurra and Darug people, and respect the history and culture of elders both past and present. Now I'll ask the General Manager to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're here today as a component of the Local Government Act's requirements, whereby a community strategic plan drives how local government deliver its services to its community. The community strategic plan is the long-term strategic vision as legislated by the Act. Currently, Council has an existing community strategic plan called the 2019-24-40 Roadmap to Our Future, and provides the framework for our community into the future. The community strategic plan has a number of components and plans that support this strategic vision, as they're highlighted on the screen. And they include a 1-year operational plan, a 4-year delivery program, a resourcing strategy that includes a workforce management plan, asset management plan, and long-term financial plans. These are provided as part of the suite of documents that you'll see in the publicly exhibited documents. Under the Local Government Act, and within 6 months of a general election, councils must review their strategic plan. Council undertook an extensive review back in 2019 and had another look at that after the elections in 2020. So as part of that process, we're intending to put these documents back on exhibition as part of a review process, rather than an absolute cleanse of those documents. And we'll be looking to do a detailed review in 24-25. But ultimately, these documents form the premise of how we put an operational plan together, and must link back to that overarching document that is our community strategic plan. So a bit of an overview about our plan is that it creates 5 major themes within our community. The snapshot's there on the screen for you and includes actions and themes such as community wellbeing, a growing economy, caring for the environment, infrastructure and services, and the 5th one being leadership and engagement. These have a number of actions underneath them that help us deliver the levels of service directed and determined by the community. So that's a bit of an overview on why we're here and what that process is. I'll pass on to Zoe to talk about this year's draft operational plan for 23-24.
So our draft 23-24 operational plan is working on the following assumptions. Total forecasted income of $33.5 million. This includes our grant income for operational and capital purposes, along with our rating revenue and user fees and charges. Our forecasted deficit is $54,269 after funding. It is important to note that the executive management team and council staff are working towards the reduction of that deficit as we go through the year, as we are committed to try and create a surplus and looking for cost reductions where appropriate. The rate peg, as the Mayor suggested, is 3.7% as a part of the IPART determination. As a part of our assumptions, we have been working with a 7.8% CPI, which was the year to December 2022 when we were creating the documents. Our employees' salary and wages forecasts are set to increase by 8.14%. This is due to Council's commitment to a new Grow Your Own program, which also includes additional income where training subsidies are available. We will also apply for them. Council is also providing in the draft operational plan to allow for $90,000 worth of Section 356 financial assistance donations. Our income statement comparison from the income perspective, you can see the rates are going up slightly along lines with the rate revenue and the annual charges increases. Our user charges are down at this stage in our draft budgeting documents due to our roads maintenance contract and not knowing specific projects for next year. So the budgeted amount for the 22-23 was larger at the time, and unknown private works. And as these come to a light, we will adjust the budget during the QBR processes. We are also anticipating higher interest from the 2 financial years as the interest rates return to a higher level through the RBA. Council has been able to secure higher investment rates. Our operational grants for the draft budget is also down from last financial year, and that's due to an unknown amount of maintenance style grants that will be available to us at this time with the new government. It's still relatively unknown. We are continuing another high capital grants program going through into the 23-24 financial year. From the expense for operational side of things, you'll note that the employee benefits and on costs are actually down on last year. This is due to any council staff wages that are used for a capital project being placed onto the asset register as a part of the capitalisation of the asset. Our material and contracts are down as we do focus on some capital items and unknown opportunities for additional maintenance. Our other expenditures are slightly higher than the adopted budget for last year. This is due to a number of factors, but a main increase is on the IT expenditure, and this is to assist council going through its current IT transformation projects. The Director of Planning would like to take over.
Thank you, Zoe. In regard to the waste fund, council will be continuing to offer 4 free tip vouchers for road assessment, continue with the 1 free tip day, both Oberon and the transfer stations, and as indicated, we'll be continuing to support the transfer stations at Black Springs and Beauregard. Council will be looking at installing a suitable weighbridge at the Oberon waste facility this financial year. This will help to regulate and assist and improve the operations, and also with EPA reporting requirements. and also we'll be continuing to review the tip operations, which we brought back to the community for consideration with a survey process during the year. In regard to the sewer fund, the main capital works will be the sewer treatment plant replacement. There'll be a modification to the design of the 1950s pump station inlet at the Oberon sewer treatment plant to improve the performance of the pumps and extraction of unwanted foreign matter, and also an upgrade to the Albion Street pump station to improve its condition and increase its performance. In regard to the water fund, there'll be a main water replacement will be continued in Oberon. There'll also be a UV or ultraviolet filtration will be installed at the Oberon water treatment plant to ensure New South Wales health compliance and delivery of reticulated water to our community. And there'll also be 2 pump replacements at the Oberon water treatment plant. Thank you. I'll hand over to Technical Services Director Chris for the capital projects. Chris is online.
Thanks, Damien. Thank you. 2023 Capital Works program is again yet quite a large program. Right there, we can see in the road section the Lowesmount Road, or the Tablelands Way project, is a 21-kilometre road project. Mutton Falls Road back to Albion Street in Oberon. We have an Arkstone Road upgrade, again another 20 kilometres through the Fixing Local Roads, round 3 and round 4 grant funding. On the Abercrombie Road, there will be substantial work again undertaken during the financial year, with $900,000 being spent through the Roads to Recovery block grant and successful repair program pending. Bastard Point Road, Isabella Road, Beaconsfield Road and Gibbons Roads will also receive some upgrades through the natural disaster funding, and gravel re-sheeting capital program will be also undertaken on the unsealed road network throughout the local government area to the tune of $500,000. Bitumen reseals, scenarios 1, 2 and 3 will be talked to further in further slides to this presentation. The Oberon Gym, Pool and Library will also have new solar installed as part of the council renewable strategy. An accessible playground will be installed at the Oberon Common, and Bailey's Lane will also see the removal of the former low-level causeway with the replacement of a new bridge. This will provide improved access. Following slide under equipment, the fleet and capital expenditure this year will see again a lot of plant turned over to ensure its condition and ongoing upkeep. The library will also receive good funding for resources and other internal purchases, and there also will be, as mentioned, a UV filtration for the water treatment plant, and on that sheet also outlining that there will be cemetery improvements for the multiple cemeteries that council looks after for and during the financial year. On the next slide, under road maintenance, the sealed road maintenance funding to the tune of $528,000 will be provided. Yearly maintenance of nearly $600,000 respectively. And again, as mentioned on the unsealed road network, pothole funding has been provided, and a yearly maintenance budget of $700,000 to maintain the unsealed road network. I'll now hand you back to Gary to talk about the bitumen reseal 1 to 2 kilometre scenarios. Thanks, Gary.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. So as part of next year's proposed draft strategy, council asked staff to look at options around increasing a reseal program on our road network. There was a number of scenarios that council had to look at. Council asked staff to have a look at previously supported CSP themes and objectives. First being the 1 to 2 kilometres of seal that we've traditionally utilised in trying to change unsealed road networks that we currently have into a sealed road component, and also our SRV, or our special rate variation, that we went through between 15 and 20, and any monies that we would otherwise spend on our 8 priority roads to be incorporated into a separate program that could look at assisting with a reseal program on our existing sealed road network. As a result of that, staff have come to council, who have then resolved to place all 3 options on exhibition for comment from its community. Those scenarios include a do nothing, that is, continue to do what we're doing, which is to turn 1 to 2 kilometres of road that was formerly unsealed into sealed, and that's based on our unsealed road matrix that is once again endorsed by council. At this point in time, there are 4 major artillery roads that we'd be looking at, and that is Beaconsfield, Carlwood, Mozart and Sills Creek. The second scenario is to look at a complete reseal program where we take existing condition rated or low condition rated urban and sealed rural roads and look at a program around getting them back to a standard that's otherwise something that's lacking at this point in time. And the third scenario is to do a bit of a combination of both, being that look at a reseal program as well as trying to complete some level of bitumen transformation from our unsealed road network. For the purposes of this draft budget, staff have used scenario 2 as the preferred option. However, this in no way means that it's the preferred option of council, and they will need to determine that prior to the documents being put into fruition after the consultation. So it's one of the things that the community can certainly put their thoughts to and certainly lodge a submission about in relation to how they see or how they would like to see council look at these scenarios that we've suggested.
The next slide is talking to the town improvement levy. Town improvement levy projects are forecast in accordance with the CSP and delivery program. They form a part of the operational plan each year to meet the cost of any works, services, facilities or activities within the Oberon Town Improvement District. Council has undertaken various rating workshops and consulted with experts around the future use of the town improvement levy. Council has resolved to look at our options during the 23 to 24 financial year, noting that Council is currently happy that the current treatment of the town improvement levy meets all legal requirements. However, during the 23 to 24 financial year, there will be a significant project in looking at the future of the town improvement levy with elements of community consultations to see what it may look like in the future, starting from the 24 to 25 financial year. The projects listed above are items that are currently listed for consideration of allocation of funding, and the final amounts and projects will be confirmed as a part of the June ordinary council meeting. For the 23 to 24 rating schedule, as stipulated earlier, we will be using a 3.7% rate peg as determined by the Independent Price Regulation Tribunal, IPAT. This would result in council rating 5.16 million as its permissible income for the 23 to 24 financial year. I would now like to pass to Damien again.
Thank you, Zoe. Council will be undertaking a comprehensive land use strategy review during the next financial year. The development of the land use strategy can take up to 12 months or more to prepare. It is intended to identify the demand for development through commercial, industrial and future population growth in the Oberon local government area. The LUS will examine the existing policy framework and identify changes to accommodate the above demands. It could employ 3 broad mechanisms. One is to identify land to be rezoned anywhere in the LGA. Also to identify changes in the existing policy framework, the LEP being the Local Environment Plan, or the DCP, the Development Control Plan, or any of our development guidelines, such as the Contributions Plan, and also identifying infrastructure, being roads or drainage to support new development areas, or increasing the capacity of existing development areas. And due to the complexity and the need to achieve certain goals, a standalone program of community engagement will be undertaken for consideration at a later date for the LUS review. Thank you.
Thanks, Damien. Thanks, staff. So that is a quick overview of what the draft 23-24 operational plan looks like. As indicated on the screen, submissions need to be in writing and received by no later than 4 p.m. on the 2nd of June 2023, and addressed to the General Manager at the places that are highlighted on the screen, being the council chambers or a PO box or online. So all those mechanisms will be able to be used in order to put in a submission. I highly encourage the community to put in a submission, as we're trying to deliver a level of service to our community it's something that meets their expectation, and I look forward to reading those submissions with a good level of understanding. So with that in mind, I'd like to thank everyone for being part of our processes today, and I am happy to take questions from the public now as part of that process.